This is the last video of famous people and celebrities who passed away in 1972 in the United States. Before we proceed, please subscribe to our channel to support us. Luella Parsons. She was born in August 1881 and she died in December 1972. Her age was 91 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was arteriosclerosis. Luella Parsons was an American gossip columnist and screenwriter. At her peak, her columns were read by 20 million people in 700 newspapers worldwide. She was the first writer of a dedicated column on motion pictures in the United States, writing one in 1914 for the Chicago Record-Herald. She later started a similar column for the New York Morning Telegraph, being lured away by William Randolph Hearst's New York American in 1924 because she championed Hearst's mistress, Marion Davis. She subsequently became an influential figure in Hollywood and remained the unchallenged queen of Hollywood gossip until the arrival of the flamboyant Hedda Hooper, with whom she feuded for years. Parsons saw herself as the social and moral arbiter of Hollywood, and many feared her disfavor more than that of movie critics. Parsons had informants in studio corridors, hairdressers, salons, and lawyers' and doctors' offices. Her husband, Harry Martin, was a urologist and Hollywood physician, and it was thought that he passed on information he learned in his position as a studio doctor. Norman Clyde. He was born in April 1885 and he died in December 1972. His age was 87 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was metastatic melanoma. Norman Clyde was a mountaineer, mountain guide, freelance writer, nature photographer, and self-trained naturalist. He is well known for achieving over 130 first ascents, many in California's Sierra Nevada and Montana's Glacier National Park. He also set a speed climbing record on California's Mount Shasta in 1923. The Bancroft Library at the University of California, Berkeley, has 1467 articles written by Clyde in its archives. Clyde began climbing in Sierra Nevada in 1910 when he visited Yosemite and Sequoia National Parks, writing to his mother that "I climbed the highest mountains in the region." He also visited McLeod near Mount Shasta that summer. He began a regimented program of mountaineering in the Sierra Nevada in 1914, including the first of his first ascents. He joined the Sierra Club in 1914. He first climbed Mount Shasta in 1916 and climbed that peak a total of 12 times. While living in South California during his wife's illness, he climbed Mount San Jacinto in 1917. Following his wife's death in 1919, he climbed extensively in the Kings Kern Divide region of the southern Sierra. Roberto Clemente. He was born in August 1934 and he died in December 1972. His age was 38 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was plane crash. Roberto Clemente was a Puerto Rican professional baseball player who played 18 seasons in Major League Baseball (MLB) for Pittsburgh Pirates, primarily as right fielder. In December 1972, Clemente died in the crash of a plane he had chartered to take emergency relief goods for the survivors of a massive earthquake in Nicaragua. After his sudden death, the National Baseball Hall of Fame changed its rules so that a player who had been dead for at least 6 months would be eligible for entry. In 1973, Clemente was posthumously inducted, becoming the first player from Caribbean and the second from Latin America, after Lefty Gomez in 1972, to be honored in the Hall of Fame. Born in Carolina, Puerto Rico, Clemente was a track and field star and an Olympic hopeful in his youth before deciding to turn his full attention to baseball. His professional career began at age of 18 with the Cangrejeros de Santos of the Puerto Rican Professional Baseball League. Charles Atlas, he was born in October 1892 and he died in December 1972. His age was 80 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was heart failure. Charles Atlas was an American bodybuilder, best remembered as a developer of a bodybuilding method and his associated exercise program, which spawned a landmark advertising campaign featuring his name and likeness. It has been described as one of the longest lasting and most memorable ad campaigns of all time. Atlas trained himself to develop his body from that of a scrawny weakling, eventually becoming the most popular bodybuilder of his day. He took the name Charles Atlas after a friend told him that he resembled the statue of Atlas on top of a hotel in Coney Island, and legally changed his name in 1922. He marketed his first bodybuilding course with health and fitness writer Frederick Tilney in November 1922. The duo ran the company out of Tilney's home for first 6 months. In 1929, Tilney sold his half of the business to advertising man Charles P. Robin and moved to Florida. Charles Atlas Limited was founded in 1929 and as of 2023 continues to market a fitness program for the 97-pound, 44 kg weakling. The company is now owned by Jeffrey C. Hoke. Joseph Cornell, he was born in December 1903 and he died in December 1972. His age was 69 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was heart failure. Joseph Cornell was an American visual artist and filmmaker, one of the pioneers and most celebrated exponents of assemblage. Influenced by surrealists, he was also an avant-garde experimental filmmaker. He was largely self-taught in his artistic efforts and improvised his own original style, incorporating cast-off and discarded artifacts. He lived most of his life in relative physical isolation, caring for his mother and his disabled brother at home, but remained aware of and in contact with other contemporary artists. Joseph Cornell's 1936 found film montage, Rose Hobart, was made entirely from splicing together existing film stock that Cornell had found in New Jersey warehouses, mostly derived from a 1931 B-film entitled East of Borneo. Cornell would play Nestor Armol's Record Holiday in Brazil during its rare screenings, as well as projecting the films through a deep blue glass or filter, giving the film a dreamlike effect, focusing mainly on gestures and expressions made by Rose Hobart. His dreamscape of Cornell seems to exist in a kind of suspension until the film's most arresting sequence towards the end. Mike Brady, he was born in April 1887 and he died in December 1972. His age was 85 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Mike Brady was an American professional golfer. Brady, born in Brighton, Massachusetts on April 15, 1887. Brady won 9 PGA events between 1916 and 1926. He lost in a 3-way playoff to John McDermott in the 1911 US Open. He lost to Walter Hagen in a celebrated playoff in the 1919 US Open at the Brayburn Country Club. Hagen promptly resigned his club pro job at Oakland Hills Country Club after winning, and Oakland Hills promptly hired Brady. Brady subsequently won the 1922 Western Open at Oakland Hills. Brady died in Dunedin, Florida at the age of 85. Thanks for watching the video. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Have a nice day.